and gentlemen, I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. Now, today we are going to look at the BZ75, which we have already looked at, but this time we are going to be playing it with the HESH. Yes, Chinese HESH. Is this the first time that HESH has been put on another tank that's not a British tank? I know there are some tanks that have like the higher HE pen, like the RU251 or the standard B. They have the high pen HE, but I believe, as far as my memory takes me, I don't think there is any other tank apart from British that actually has HESH, apart from this new Chinese heavy tank line. So we're going to have a look at the stats with the HESH gun, and then we are going to have some a few boring battles. Nothing crazy, but at least it shows you that whatever gun you use, to be honest, it's up to you. If you do like HESH, then yeah, it's probably worth using the HESH gun. If you're not a lover of HESH, you might as well use the other gun. So all the armor, everything like that stays the same from the last time we made the video. However, the things that do change is obviously all about the gun. So the damage per minute with the HESH gun is 2,151. That is a 17.5 second reload. So yeah, a long reload, but it's definitely it definitely is worth it if you manage to penetrate. So your penetration, you've got 263 on your normal AP, and you have 198 on your HESH round. Now your cheap HESH, you only have 72 pen. However, if you can use that, it is still worth using that because of the alpha. So your standard AP pen on this gun is 620, your HESH 780, and your cheap HESH is 920. So if you find grills or anything like that, it definitely is worth trying to see if you can use that cheap HESH. At least take a couple of them. I take 6. You know, you're probably not going to use 6, but it's worth taking some. So your aim time with this gun is 4 seconds. Nothing great. The same as your gun dispersion, 0.380, and you do have 8 degrees of gun depression. So we're just going to get into a couple of games. Again, as I've said, nothing special. We're going to use my own sexy replays here, and just to get the feel of the gun, you know, because this means I have played it with both guns. I do like the other gun, however. I don't mind the other gun. I think it's actually okay. And in fact, we're not going to use this battle. This replay is for something completely different videos. So let's go and try and find these battles. So not the Port Bay one. I'm sure I've got another battle somewhere. There we go. Canal. Yeah, I enjoy it. Obviously, I love HESH. Those of you that have been around for a long time will know that I absolutely love HESH. It definitely is worth the high risk, high reward, because sometimes you're not going to, it's not going to pay off, and sometimes you might only do sort of 100, 200 damage, but yeah, it's definitely the high risk, high reward, and that's the same with all the HESH guns. You know, even the little FV4202 that does low alpha because it's a medium, but if you don't penetrate properly, you could do sort of 1 or 2 damage. Literally, I've had it many times where I've, even in the Death Star, I've managed to do 1 damage before. So it's frustrating, but of course, you're using the HESH because you want to use the alpha. You want to up your DPM, and you want to have that nice big chunk of damage out on the enemy tanks. So yeah, a lot of people actually don't like the HESH. There is a lot of people out there that might just prefer the other gun, and that's absolutely fine. There is no right or wrong. If you're not used to it, if you're not, you know, because it does take a little bit of getting used to, because people are used to using the AP, and when they can't penetrate something, they switch to the heat or they switch to the APCR, where something with a HESH gun doesn't really have that. Their AP is their high penetration, or their higher penetration. So if you can't pen something with the HE, then the most likely you're not going to penetrate them with HESH. And if you can't penetrate them, sometimes you got to just look and think, you know what, I'm just going to shoot them with HESH, and I'm just going to do a bit of splash damage, exactly like we just did there. But we could have actually penned that guy with the AP. But you've got to get into that habit. and it makes you change. Sometimes you always have to look for the pen, and again, not always is it going to pay off. Let's try again here. We're going to go for the cheap HESH. We did manage to pen him, and actually we done quite a bit of damage to him. So it's definitely worth taking that cheap HESH, because you are going to come up against tanks that hasn't got much armor. You know, the grills, the waffles, the light tanks as well. Sometimes you're going to be able to get behind them and yeah, get them from the rear. So that there was pretty much a failed shot. Unless I aim, I mean, I can penetrate this Conway frontally, but sometimes it's not worth running the risk in shooting that HESH. Sometimes you might as well just use AP and at least guarantee the over 500 damage. And again, there's other times where you might have like an E3, say an E3 that is hold down, and you know you're not going to penetrate him with your AP, but you also know there's no way that you're going to penetrate him with the HESH. So just like the bigger guns, like the Death Stars, and even things like the E100s and stuff like that, if you can't penetrate them with something, just load up the HE and just splash them, because even the splash can do 200 to 300 and sometimes even more damage. So it's just getting used to that. And again, some people don't want to get used to that. They want to be able to switch to their premium round, and they want to be able to an easy pen, where these HESH guns haven't got that, so they're unable to do that. So yeah, I understand people not liking the HESH, and I also understand people obviously why they love the HESH, because as I said, I absolutely love HESH. I really do. Any tank, whether it's a heavy tank, whether it's a medium tank or a tank destroyer, if there's a tank with HESH, I'm running it. I don't care. I'm gonna run it. I really don't care, because it's, for me, it is enjoyable. So we're gonna just move on to the last game now. First game, yeah, we did a few stupid shots, but we still managed to get over 4k damage. And again, if you do manage to get these shots that penetrate, especially if you are using the cheap HESH, your damage really can pump up really quickly. It's not a tank with high DPM, but if you manage to get a few of these HE shots out, then yeah, your damage really can pump up very, very quickly. So far, 2 shots, 1200 damage, and of course I want to chase this FV400-5. I'm going to switch to the cheap HESH, because I know I will be able to penetrate him, and I just want to guarantee the kill, because I still could low rock, and with the normal HESH I could still actually do less damage. So I just wanted to guarantee that penetration. So I do actually I do mess up this game, to be fair, and I do die, but we do go on and win, and it's actually quite a nice win. So there's the E100. Hello, 882 damage in a heavy tank with HESH, and again, that is why I just love it. I can't speak highly enough of HESH, and I'm never going to be able to speak highly enough of HESH. Absolutely love it. I'm going to forever love it until Wargaming decide that they want to remove HESH from the game, which they have done on certain tanks, and until the world kicked off, and then they had to put them back. Those of you that are not aware, that the Centurion 7-1 and the FV402, Wargaming did actually remove the HESH and replace it with heat. That's why it's actually got 2 guns, because people just kicked off about it. So yeah, we're lucky to have it. We're definitely lucky to have it. Fortunately, I do die, but definitely give it a try. Definitely give the tank a try using the HESH gun, because it is honestly worth it. And if you don't like it, at least you can resort to using the other gun. We don't have that too often in tier 10. Normally it has that one gun, and that's it. But at least you've got the option, and that is what I like about it. It gives you the option, whether you want to run it with a HESH, or if you just want to run it with a standard gun. Let me know what you run it with. Do you run it with HESH, or do you run it with that standard gun? Let me know in the comments below. But for now, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm meadsy69, and I will catch you all soon. Bye-bye.